guys, it's Rhett from the 100-Acre Wood Highlands. We had some beautiful snow Thursday and Friday. Today the sun is shining. It's going to get to the lower 40s, and so we're probably going to have all this melt and be gone. And so it's always fun to come out here and check out the cows when it is snowing, because they always look so beautiful with all the snow in on their heads and in their hair, and they get excited and run around and jump, and we're out here feeding hay and busting ice. And so it's just I'm glad we don't deal with it all the time, but it's fun when we have it. I'm going to give you guys an update today on a calf that was born on our farm about a year ago that has become a show animal. It was really cool. And then I've shared with you guys last spring that we had a high voltage power line coming across the farm, and they finally strung the wire yesterday. They're still out here working on it. It's been going on for quite a while. You can see it there in the background. They've got cranes and all kinds of stuff attaching it. But yesterday we were out here sledding with the kids, going through the fields. We just got done feeding hay, and a helicopter started flying over, and it was going around each pole, and it was pulling a man on a cord. It was pretty crazy. I'll show you a little clip of that. But then eventually, later in the afternoon, a helicopter pulled the cable and somehow would guide it onto each spool. So today, they're messing with it, still getting it hooked up. I'll be glad when they're done and out of here. There's like trucks and semis and people here like every other day. Deer hunting season, cows have been leaving gates open. It's kind of annoying. Fortunately, I've only had cows get out like once, but I'll be down ready for them to move on. So before the power line company actually came through, that whole area where the pole is had scattered trees through it. And so when you were down here at the pond, the road is up there. That whole view was blocked off. And so they're there now. Fortunately, we just had the one pole, but I'll show you guys that video of them guiding the wire through the spools. It was pretty crazy watching it be pulled by a helicopter. You guys know Emporia back here. She had been a show heifer up in the Minnesota area that we bought back in 2020. Took a road trip, met them in Nebraska to pick her up, and she had had a bull calf last year. And Brandon from Meter Livestock, who had purchased some animals from us in the past, was wanting to get into showing. So he came out here last spring, liked the look of her calf, so we kept it intact. And when the calf was old enough to wean, he came and got that little guy last summer and got him halter trained just in time to show him at the Oklahoma State Fair. Now, the Oklahoma State Fair is not a big place to show Highlands, and in a lot of places, if you go to show Highlands, you end up in what's called the all other breeds category because there's just no other breeds of that type to compete against. So that was his first showing experience. But last weekend, the Cattlemen's Congress show of Highlands was held in Oklahoma City. And if you're not part of kind of the show cattle community, you may never have heard of this, but Cattlemen's Congress is a livestock show that people come from all over the country to show at. The first one was held in 2021 at the Oklahoma State Fairgrounds, and over 10,000 different animals were shown. And breeds of all different kinds were there, and they had a Highland show. I don't know how many they had the first year, but this year they had about maybe 20 animals or so, and Brandon showed that bull calf in it, and we went up there to watch. It was really pretty cool to see an animal that was born at our place being exhibited. I've never shown any of our cows before. I've never shown cows at all. When I was in school as a little kid, we showed chickens, and then when I got a little older and was in 4-H and FFA, we showed pigs. Always liked the idea of showing cows. We really didn't honestly have the money to compete against the people who were showing cows in my school. So we just didn't do it. And I've kind of thought about the idea of showing some of these, but right now with a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old and one on the way, just enough things on my plate right now that I don't really have the time to show one of these animals. I like to be involved in all that stuff, just not showing myself yet. But we went and saw Brandon show this animal. It was really cool. He's got this guy halter trained, has even taken this bull into a senior citizen home to let the people there get to experience a Highland cow. So he's done an amazing job with this bull. It's been really cool to see, and I hope one day we get to show. Brandon will be bringing that same bull to our South Central show in Sapulpa here in just a few months, and so I'm hoping to make it up to that one. That's actually just within about a week or so of our due date, so we'll see if I actually make it up there. But I'll show you guys some clips of the Cattlemen's Congress Highland show. There's an awesome looking big black bull that ended up won the bull division, the grand champion bull. He was great to see. It was fun to watch the lady that showed her. She was so excited. She did a great job, and it was cool to be there and experience all that.
It was the TFF range with TFF Marvelous Hazel. Second place in the Highland Fields. Third place, Daxton Unrow. Fourth place, Case Brown. And fifth, would be Leanne Danson. Now the race will select the Chief Reserve Intermediate Heifer.
I tell you, but this is the more powerful little bear. I think if there ever was a time you're going to use the term burly, I think this is the place you use that. That's not what I'm really fond of. It's an old term from years ago. I've heard these kids started using it again. We have that advantage. You just won't ask.
So I hope the Cattlemen's Congress Highland show continues to grow. I didn't get to talk to everybody there, but I think there was people from Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, and maybe Nebraska that came to it. So pretty good turnout. I hope it continues to grow. The national show of Highlands is held in Denver at the National Western Livestock Show. I've never made it up there myself, but they have an open show, a junior show, and at the end of it have a sale. And I've done content before in the past over their sales, but I got my sale catalog for this year for the national sale, and it's fun to flip through that and see what's going to be for sale and drool over all the Highland heifers that I could buy if I wanted to spend enough money on them. But someday I'd like to make it out to see that show. It's a little ways to go to take all the family up to Denver just for a weekend to go see some cows, and particularly haul a trailer up there if we're going to bring anything back. But one of these days we're going to make it up there. Hallie, you're being a good mama. You're doing a good job. So I always get people that ask me how the Highlands do in the snow and the ice every time I post pictures of them. And truthfully, they do great. My biggest concern with them is whether or not we have a calf born in any of this mess. Um, Last year we lost a calf that was born in an ice storm. It just didn't get dried off, and we didn't find it in time to bring it inside and get it warmed up or anything like that. But that's really the concern. Down here, cold and snow and ice usually doesn't last too long, so it's not really that big a deal. We go out and put hay. We'll put it typically on the south side of some trees if there's wind to give them a little bit of a windbreak. Um, but that's about it, other than the pond freezing over, feeding hay, and making sure they got access to water, and they're good. I had a interesting comment left on a old video this past week that I've been thinking about and wanted to share it with you guys and see what you thought. We've had Highlands since 2019, so that was pre crazy prices in Highlands. Our first couple, I think we bought bred mamas for like, I can't remember, 18 or 1900 bucks. We bought registered heifers for like $1,500, and then after COVID, their prices just went crazy. They went through the roof. And I understand the pain of people that are wanting to purchase some Highlands and maybe they don't have any currently, that look at the prices of them and they're insane. They're unaffordable for a lot of people that just want to have a few cows, truthfully. But the comment that I had was that Highland cows are basically just status symbols for country folk. They said they're the G-Wagon of the farm. And I don't really know how I feel about that. I mean, I think I get their point. I think they went on to say something like they can't find a Highland in their area for under $12,000. And that's a lot of money to pay for an animal that could just step in a hole and break its leg and die or get sick. Now, there are great reasons to pay a lot of money for a quality cow. I think our most expensive one was like $7,200. She's got great genetics. She's been shown at the National Western. She's halter trained. So I think that there's totally legitimate reasons to pay top dollar for a good quality registered cow. But the G-Wagon of country folk, I don't know. They're a beef animal. Beef sells by the pound, doesn't really care whether you bought the animal for $1,500 or $15,000. So, if we were just purchasing strictly to eat them, you couldn't justify paying that much money. Currently aren't showing, but we've got one that's being showed by another farm, and one of our calves this year, someone's interested in purchasing to show. So, that makes them a little bit more valuable. I think the prices potentially have gone up just because after COVID, it seemed like everybody wanted to move out to the country and have some space, have some animals, which I understand that. Totally get that. But let me know what you guys think about that comment. Are Highland cows just a status symbol of country folk? I don't know. I don't really think so, but it's an interesting thought that's out there, and I appreciate the frustration with how expensive it can be to buy these right now. These two cows, mama cows right here, are two of the last ones we're waiting on to have calves. One of them I'm not really expecting to be born until April, but this other one had her calf last year on like December 23rd. So where's it at? I'm ready for this calf. Besides these two, there's one other. So just come out here, do my daily rounds, make sure they got hay, make sure they got water, and check to see if there's any new babies. If you guys haven't already, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.